Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode, and today we have with us Deanna Eixman. Deanna, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, Deanna, I wanted to start by asking you your reflections on the Magnificent Seven Rides Again, which the show closed in mid October.
Yes. My reflections, it was a great show. We had a blast doing it and had a great turnout actually. We also painted for the first time at the show on one of the Saturdays, and it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of people come in through the for the Western Arts show that was up, and it was the last weekend for that, so they would stop by and see us, and they were from out of town and even out of state. We had a few of them there. But the kids were coming through and watching us paint, and it was just a fun time.
Did you sell anything?
I did, I sold. I did well.
Good. That's always important to
It
know.
is.
What did you think of the crowd this year? Maybe comparing it to the year before. You mentioned you thought it was larger.
I do, I did. I think it was much larger than it was the year before. I think that we're getting a name. I think people are starting to learn who the Magnificent Seven is. It's been real fun going to some of the local shows, and they're like, "Aren't you on that poster with the other women? Aren't you part of the is it Magnificent Seven?" I'm like, "Yes, that's us." It's kinda fun.
Tell me about your experience painting in front of others. I know you do that as part of your regular work at weddings and other events, but what was it like sort of in that environment for you?
Oh, it was great. I It's fun. I enjoy painting in front of others because it invites people to ask questions and learn about my techniques, why I do what I do, especially other artists. When they start looking at what I do, they ask me questions, and it's fun just to kind of shop talk and share. But it's also fun when the little ones come up and they're like, "Mom, look." And so you kind of encourage them about their future and that everybody can do this. It's just a matter of doing it, and then people argue with you about that. But it's been fun. Also, some of the women that came through, they were like, "I haven't painted in years. I really should get my stuff out and start painting." And of course, we're gonna encourage them. So, it was also really fun to see a few of our other ladies, the Magnificent Seven, who have never painted in front of people before, actually paint for the first time in front of folks and enjoy it. So that was a stretch for them, but it was also very, I think, a way of them growing who they are as artists, so
So, what were two or three of your favorite comments you heard, whether it was from a 8-year-old girl or a 68-year-old woman?
oh, real good. They Some of the things is that they really like how I've been able to capture life in the eyes of my paintings. I do animals, a lot of animals, and so it was really fun to hear what they saw in the eyes of my animals. They were like, it's almost like they're looking at me. I can feel the warmth in their just different comments that they would say. That was a lot of fun. It was also pretty fun to be compared to not compared, but they would come from the Western Arts Museum and they would say, "Oh, this is a great show too. We just hit 2 amazing shows in 1 weekend." So that really made us feel special.
That is that yes,
Yeah,
that would given that the show that they were having was
was amazing.
frankly one of my favorites that they've had. Kwang Ho and Scott
Christensen.
Christensen. Yes,
Thank you.
that was Andrew Gay, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Gay. The some of the women
Mhm.
who are part of the Magnificent Seven took a few minutes to breathe after the show closed. You, however, are not one of those women. So tell
No.
us what you've been up to literally for the last 6 weeks.
I have been on the road going to show after show and then a wedding. Yeah, so I showed at the Ingram, Texas Arts and Craft Fair. I've also done a show in Round Top, and then I did one in Dallas, downtown Dallas, and then just got back from doing a wedding in Schulenburg.
Didn't you go to
So,
Colorado?
I did not go to Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
The show at Round Top, what was the crowd like there? Because it's obviously closer to Houston and maybe kind of equidistant between Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, and I just wanted to get a sense of the crowd and the people because Round Top really has its own vibe.
It does has its own vibe, and it was my first time ever there. The show was magnificent. The quality of artists at this show, there were 70 artists at this show, and the quality was just incredible. A lot of the Texas master artists who you often see at the YO Hotel here in town, a lot of them were there, and then some other magnificent artists. It was incredible. The guests that came through were great. They were from the Houston area, Austin, and San Antonio, and they were people looking for art, and so that was very pleasurable. I don't think the crowd was as big as expected, but he is also making some moves to do some things to let people know that were there. So I'm excited. I'll do it again. I'm excited about it.
Tell us about the other shows. What were they like for you?
Okay. The one here in Ingram, I always love being here on our home turf. It's just really fun being there so that all the locals can find us. I enjoy that show a lot. I do well at that show when I do it. The Dallas show was a little slim. I think there was several games going on at the same time that we had the show. It was downtown. I did well, sold tons of prints, which is always a good thing, but also I think the crowd could have been better. Parking was horrible. So I don't know that I'll do another downtown show anywhere. Especially in a big city, but it was a fun show. I love going to shows because I get to meet a whole new demographic of people and artists.
Did you say Schulenburg as well?
Schulenburg, I did a live wedding painting.
That's right.
Mhm. Beautiful venue.
The as we one of the things I've been most intrigued about with this season
Mhm.
of The Magnificent Seven Rides Again is how you think about or how the seasons affect your painting. So obviously we're in fall, moving to winter, very different than sort of early fall, the summer and the spring. How does those colors or how does the change in seasons impact the type of painting you do?
For me, it doesn't impact it a whole lot because I love to do animals, and so I have my own thing. I do kind of an abstract feel to a lot of my animals as the background. When I do landscapes, a lot of times I'll put in incorporate the fall colors of the oranges, the golds, the bronzes. It's just we are very fortunate that we in Texas here have a little bit of fall colors, especially down by the river. So that's always inspiring and always encouraging for me to do whenever I'm painting landscapes.
But the fall
Mhm.
season also means something in the animal world.
It
So
does.
I particularly have come to enjoy the deer
Yes.
mating seasons, the deer birthing seasons, the
Mhm.
the babies, and now watching the babies have grown up to not full adults yet, but still you can tell they've had a lot of growth and we're moving towards rutting season is coming up
Yes.
for us. But how do you incorporate the deer life cycle season into your work?
Usually this season is when I'm out taking a lot of pictures when I'm not on the road showing. So I take a lot of photos and then I incorporate it throughout the year. I've been trying more and more to not just focus on just a single animal in my paintings, but more of their interaction with each other. So I've just been doing that more and more anyway, but it is fun to capture the little ones running around with moms and dads. And I don't know that I do a whole lot different, to be honest with you, when it comes to the animals.
You mentioned the colors and the
Uh-huh.
colors down by the river where we tend to get a little bit more water, where we get a little more color. Could you describe the colors you see here in late November and maybe even what you think you'll see in December before we get to really the dead of winter?
Oh, I love the yellows, the ochres, the browns, the golden hues, the ambers, the bronzes. It's just beautiful. Also, then your greens change a little bit from that really rich green and they start dying down and you start incorporating a lot of your ochres into the greens. So ochres is a yellow color in case somebody doesn't really realize what that is.
And then what
So
about as we move into maybe January and February where we have a few weeks of pretty intense cold and a lot of the non-deciduous trees or perennials lose their leaves? How does that really work into the type of work you do?
it ends up graying everything down. Also, just the atmosphere tends to gray down and things become a little bit more blue overall, a little bit more gray overall. And so whenever I'm doing landscapes, that's something I take into consideration.
As we move towards we're in Q4 here, but as we move to the first quarter of 2025, do you have any, projects you're either working on or looking towards?
Right now, I still have some commissions on my easels. I've got about 5 easels up in my studio, all with something on them that I need to finish up before December, so there's that. But also, I am preparing to do a show with Laura Williams and Don Wire, which are both part of the Magnificent Seven, and we'll be doing a show at Grape Juice. December 17th, I believe, is when we're setting up. It'll go on for 2 months through February 15th, and we're titling it A View what is it? A Stepping into the View, that's what it is, sorry, yeah, Stepping into the View, and the 3 of us got together and went out to a ranch, and we took some photos, and we're gonna take pieces of the photos and then do a collaboration between the 3 of us, so we're excited about doing that one.
Do you have any shows that you're looking towards in, early or mid 2025?
Yes, I have another show that's gonna be down in Clute, Texas. It's closer to where I grew up. It's June 3rd through July 7th or something like that, and I need 60 pieces, so I'll be working fast and furious trying to get 60 pieces done until then. But there's also several shows that I'm looking at and I've applied to, and I'm waiting to find out if I've been accepted into them. That's part of the process of being an artist. You apply and you wait.
And of course, in hopefully September of 2025, the
Yes,
Magnificent
the
Seven will
Magnificent
arrive yet
7,
again.
yet again.
Have you started thinking about what you might do? Will it be different? Will it be the same? Where are you in that part of your process?
Okay, just finishing up all these shows in November. I haven't even started that far in advance, but I am sure that what I do for the June show will also have effect on what I do for the Magnificent Seven. So that's just a lot of pieces that I need to get together for that show. So I will definitely be thinking ahead and trying to work it all together.
Got a busy 2025.
I do. I do.
Leanna, unfortunately, we're near the end of our time for this episode, but if our listeners wanted to find out any more information about you or your work, what would be the best
Yes.
place for them to go?
They can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Deanna Eixman Art, and they can also go to my website, deannaeixman.com.
Deanna, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.